Alright guys, for the next upcoming update, Coon Mashney is going to receive a brand new buff because of the Revolution System Phase 2. There are also going to be some other SSR Plus units who are going to receive a buff, but they haven't really mentioned that. So the only character that they mentioned is Coon Mashney. So in this video, I'm pretty much going to share with you guys a guide on how to build Coon Mashney and which team comp she fits in perfectly. So let's not waste any time and let's go ahead and hop right into the video. Now, I never made a Coon Mashney build guide, so we're pretty much going to go through her kit, and you guys already know the order. After we check out her kit, we're going to check out her gameplay, and then I'm going to give her the set that she basically works with. So let's go ahead and read her passive. It says Lightning Shinsu. So Mashney attaches Lightning Shinsu to the enemy for 10 seconds when she lands a basic attack. Her basic attack damage increases by 40% against targets with Lightning Shinsu attached to them. In addition, her Lightning Shinsu explodes after 4 attacks, dealing 40% of her attack as damage to nearby enemies and paralyzing the target for 1 second. So for her passive, she is going to basically increase her basic attack when she attacks the enemy with Lightning Shinsu. Like, she's going to mark that enemy with Lightning Shinsu, and when she attacks that enemy who has the Lightning Shinsu, her basic attack will increase. And on top of that, the Lightning Shinsu is going to explode after 4 attacks, dealing 40% of her attack as damage and also paralyzing that target for 1 second. Now moving on to her next the next part of her kit, which is her active skill, Lightning Field. Mashney unleashes her Lightning Field for 10 seconds, creating a barrier equal to 300% of her attack. She deals 100% of her attack as damage every second to enemies inside the field. The concentrated Shinsu explodes when the Lightning Field disappears, paralyzing enemies in range for 1 second. So this Lightning Field, all there is to it is whenever there's enemies inside this field, they're going to receive damage over time, and once the barrier disappears, it's going to deal like a huge Shinsu explosion, and is also going to paralyze the enemy within that barrier. Now moving on to the next active skill, we have Trident. It says Mashney enhances her basic attacks and increases her swiftness by 20 for 8 seconds. The attack coefficient of Mashney's basic attack increases by 20%, and her basic attack transforms into a 3-prong piercing attack. So Trident, she's basically going to switch her basic attack into some sort of, like, she's going to deal some piercing attack instead, and she's going to increase her basic attack by 20% and also her swiftness by 20 for 8 seconds. Now when we look at her ultimate, Mashney gathers Shinsu to create okay, I don't know how to say that, but then throws it to deal 400% of her attack as damage to the enemy, jolting them and stealing 50 of their swiftness for 8 seconds. Mashney becomes invincible while using this skill. So she's going to steal the enemy's swiftness, she's going to jolt them, and she's just going to deal some damage. So that's pretty much her entire kit. All I'm getting from her kit is she is a unit that pretty much focuses on paralyzing enemies, and she has a lot of basic attack damage. That's all there is to it. And then when we move on to her, of course, proficiency, you want to make sure that you level that up. We're going to talk about her exclusive equipment. And for her report, you want to make sure that you get that accuracy, that 100 accuracy, because she is a DPS unit. Now let's go ahead and take a look at her exclusive equipment. I currently have her at level 3, but at level 1 it says the attack coefficient of Mashney's basic attack increased by 5%. The attack coefficient of Mashney's basic attack increases by an additional 10% when Trident activates. So you get additional basic attack damage, which is really nice. And then for level 2, the attack coefficient of Mashney's basic attacks increases by an additional 5%. The attack coefficient of Mashney's basic attack increases by an additional 10% when Trident activates. So it seems like whenever she activates Trident, that's when her basic attack coefficient is going to increase whenever she activates Trident. Now for level 3, it says the effect duration of Trident increases by 4 seconds. And for level 4, Lightning Shinsu is enhanced so that enemies are shocked for 5 seconds when hit by the Lightning Shinsu explosion. Shocked targets take 20% of Mashney's attack as damage every second. So she also has damage over time in her level 4. So when it comes to her exclusive equipment, I highly recommend you guys to pretty much level up her entire exclusive equipment to level 4. You want to get all of these additional perks because this is going to pretty much increase her overall damage. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at her preview. So we're going to pretty much check out her animations and see how, she attacks. I already know how this works, but we're just going to do this just in case. So it says Lightning Shinto right here. As you guys can see, she is going to pretty much, that's the trident, the piercing attack right there. So this is the lightning field. The fact that the enemy is inside that lightning field, they're taking that damage over time. And you guys can see that the enemy has that lightning Shinto mark on them. So they're going to receive more damage. So we're going to go ahead and use her ultimate. We're going to skip that. And look at that. A lot of damage right there. So that's pretty much her gameplay. And we're going to move on and talk about which ignition weapon set is perfect for Coon Mashney. So the best ignition weapon and slot for Coon Mashney is the eel set. This set is going to increase her attack speed, and it's also going to increase her attack by 50%. And the reason why this set is perfect for Coon Mashney is because she is a ranged unit. So she is not going to receive any sort of damage from the enemy, especially melee enemies, because she's not in the front line. So she's going to be in the back row dealing ranged attacks. So eel set is the best in slot set for her. And when you want the best set for her shoes and for her gauntlet, you want to get a critical damage increase for her shoes, and then for the gloves you want to get magic pierce because she is a magic damage type unit. Now when it comes to substats, for substats you want to focus on some crit damage increase. You want to get some crit rate. Crit rate isn't bad. You want to get some crit rate as her substat as well. You also want to get some accuracy. Accuracy is very important because it's going to increase the chances of her pretty much dealing damage against the enemy. Getting some evasion isn't bad, but you mostly want to get some magic resistance and physical resistance because that's going to increase her survivability. So those are pretty much like the main substats you want to focus on: magic resistance, physical resistance for more survivability, crit damage for more damage, crit rate for some more damage, and of course accuracy. So those are like the top substats for Coon Mashney. Now we're gonna go ahead and do an arena battle right here, but this is a really nice team comp that you can use for Coon Mashney. We have Lero in his team because Lero is going to buff basic attack damage. If we come over here and check his kit, he can literally buff basic attack damage by 120%, and that is really good for Coon Mashney because her entire kit revolves around basic attack. So Lero is really good for Coon Mashney, and we have Hayura, who's going to focus on pretty much buffing the entire team, and we have Kasei, who's going to deal damage in a enemy backline, and we have Escanor, who's going to be our main tank unit. Now I would put Karaka because Karaka is a purple element unit, but he's going to die really fast because I have no copies on him. So we're just going to use Escanor for now. So we're going to go ahead and quick result this right here. Now my Coon Mashney, she has no copies, absolutely 0 copies, and her performance won't be as insane because we don't have her at R3, but as you guys can see, we still win this fight right here. So she is definitely a very decent okay, you guys see why she needs a buff. So 60,000 damage. I mean, I think Kasea pretty much did the most damage in this entire team, obviously, and Coon Mashney wasn't able to eliminate the enemies. But you guys see why Coon Mashney, she needs a buff because her performance in arena, it's not that crazy. So what I'm going to do is we're pretty much going to take out Kasea. We're going to take her out, and we're just going to put in, let's say, Gusting. We're going to put in Gusting because he's a purple element unit. We're going to put him up here alongside with Escanor, and let's see what happens because she is going to be our main DPS unit. So let's see how much damage she can do right here. All right. Okay, hopefully she did a lot of damage this time. Okay, 586 million damage. So she definitely has potential. So at the end of the day, I have no copies on her. So I feel like if I had 3 red stars on Coon Mashney, she would be crazier. But the thing is, she is going to receive a buff in like 2 days. She is going to receive a buff on the next update. So that's the main reason why I'm really excited about this Coon Mashney buff, because if this buff is good on her, then I'm definitely gonna invest in this unit and build her up. So that is pretty much the Coon Mashney guide, and you guys can see why she needs a buff. She is a good unit, but I feel like she requires a lot of copies in order for her to be really nice. And the thing is, in order for me to even unlock the Revolution System Phase 2, I need a lot of copies on her. So I hope there's some sort of system that they implement in the next update where you can test SSR Plus units in their Phase 2 Revolution system, but I don't think that's going to happen. So we're just going to check out her buff when the update drops, and we're going to see if it's nice on her. But anyways, that's pretty much all I have for you guys in today's video. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. I really appreciate it. And make sure that you guys go subscribe to the main channel. I would really appreciate it. I hope you all have a good day, and I'll be catching you guys on the next one. Peace.